Are there benevolent, loving light beings in this? Uh-oh.
So now that I shared my opinions about where I stand as far as females, women and girls, young ladies, that I stand for female privacy, female spaces, female dignity, and female safety. And now that I've shared that opinion, we can get back to this paranormal stuff. So here's some orbs that I recorded, and I just wanted to share. And you know, a lot of them look like meteorites and stuff to me. You know, look at that. That one don't look like a meteorite, but this one kind of do. You know, like a broken piece of something you used to see in your science class. This one, not sure, but these are orbs. They were flying around. I just said benevolent, loving light beings that are in this space. Please show yourselves. So I will say that a lot of times when I put these through Google search always give me a space answer. Like it'll it'll call these things like the moon or a meteor or a planet, like a planet. Um, the sun, like it's always something from up there. The Google search has never identified these orbs to me as dust. It's always been something in space, a planet, or something to do with that up there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's what they are, but that's how Google search always identify these. And I've actually posted some of my recordings, and I'll screenshot and add the Google search. I'll post that too, so you guys can see what the Google search said about my orb. And it's always calling them something from up in space. Always. Now I guess I don't know. Here's another one. And uh-oh. Well, I guess that's it. Well, we'll go back the other way because these are quite interesting to look at. Like, is this a face? Is that like an eye and a nose and a mouth? And it's kind of looking up. I don't know. I just be looking at them. But they definitely look spacey or, some type of cosmic type. Yeah, it has a cosmic type energy to it. Look at that. And I know y'all probably probably get tired of hearing me say that I was you know when I talk about how this ability came about with me. I have been seeing some of this stuff since I was little, and I actually can see some of it with my bare eyes. You know, um, but I was seeing stuff when I was little. I just didn't say anything because people thought it was weird. People still think it's weird today. So people thought you were weird. So I never talked about this stuff. You know, when I told my kids about it when I got grown and stuff, my kids really didn't believe me because they had never heard me speak about it. But I knew, that, you know, I'm older. So, back when I was growing up and stuff, you couldn't talk about this kind of stuff. They thought something was wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Or, your parents or something. So you just didn't, you kept quiet about this. I didn't even mention it to none of my kids, until I got older and they got grown and things like that because I didn't, I just didn't want to spook them or whatever. Because a lot of people don't understand this stuff. They get spooked by it, you know? A lot of people they fear what they don't understand. You know, I I didn't do anything for this ability. I can't stress this enough. I just got it. I don't really even know what it's for, what I'm supposed to be doing with it. I don't try to do nothing weird with it, like read people's palms and all that stuff. I don't do none of that. But a lot of people will comment and they be concerned for me. I want you guys to know that I love God, and just because I don't agree with men and women's spaces don't mean that I'm a bad person, you know. I think that's very dangerous. That's dangerous. You can have teenagers, going over to McDonald's or Burger King without their parents, like, a McDonald's or Burger King down the street from the school, and some man hanging out in there that's, what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to get off track, but my point is, when those men start going into those bathrooms, um, you know, and they wasn't the real trans women, like the ones that really feel they in the wrong body, um, trans women did not speak up. They didn't expose it. They didn't, I feel like they put our females, loved ones in danger. They put us in danger with that because they didn't speak up. Now, we don't want none of them in the bathrooms. The ones that's legit, that really feel they in the wrong body, or the ones that's pretending. We just don't, because we don't know which ones is which. And they never spoke up. They never said, hey, that's not us. We don't come outside with beards and stuff and shaving in public. Real trans women don't do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But they never spoke up. But anyway, back to this paranormal stuff. So I didn't really say anything to my kids. I'm a very spiritual person. That's why I got off track back to the that other LGBTQ stuff. I have family members that's part of that. And I love my family members. That's between them and God. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't judge them or none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. That's all. I don't hate anybody. I feel bad when I have to smash a bug or something because I think the bug got a little bug family. So I'm far from being a hateful person. I promise you. If you knew me in real life, I share with my neighbors and everything. You know what I'm saying? If I'm at the stoplight, I got a whole thing full of quarters inside my cup holder in my car that I just keep in there, to give to the homeless that come up, like when you at the stoplight or something. They be on the corner, They'll ask for change. They'll come catch you at the lights, and I give that out. So it's nothing hateful about me. You understand? I do this stuff because I want to do it, not because, nobody else tells me to. It's just how my heart is. That's what true compassion is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really is. You know what I'm saying? It's from the heart. Nobody has to tell you to do things, you know? But anyway, yeah, so I ain't want to hold y'all long, but yeah, I didn't really mention it to my kids because I didn't want to freak them out. But I had already been seeing this stuff, and to let me cut it short. I want to say, I've never had no bad experiences with this. Yes, I don't always see happy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just happy stuff that is in this space with us. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna always see happy stuff and smiling orbs. Sometimes I see orbs that's not smiling or something that look different from an orb. You know, um, everything is in this space, sharing this space. You know what I'm saying? So hey, but I want you guys to know that I know God. I love God. I was told who God was when I was a little girl, and you know um, so I'm protected. This stuff. I'm not scared of this stuff. I'm not disrespectful to it, but I'm not afraid of it. And I don't know why I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid. Like it's just even when I see some orbs that look kind of strange or concerning, like mean faces, I'm not afraid of that because I feel they just showing themselves to me because they know I had ability to see, and they're showing themselves to kind of scare me. So I just look. I don't interact or none of that stuff or things like that. But yeah, I'm okay. I'm protected. I've never had a unpleasant or you know a a harmful moment with these experiences. Never. Never. I just see it. And there's obviously a reason why I'm supposed to see this stuff because I see it. So, you know, I just see it. It doesn't. I I live by myself. My whole house is dark when I go to sleep. I don't sleep with a bunch of lights on. I like dark, you know, and that's just it. My cabinets, my furniture don't move, none of that. You know, um, so yeah, just in case anybody is wondering, I didn't do anything for this. I've always had this stuff going on since I was a kid. I didn't do nothing to get this. You know what I'm saying? And this is real. This is real. And as bad as you want to say this is dust, because I know y'all want to say that, it's just not. you know? And if people want to say it's demons and stuff, that's fine too, but that don't, you know, yeah, because that doesn't really concern me because I know God, I love God, and I'm protected, and they don't bother me. They just show themselves to me. So it is what it is. Um, Again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and please know I'm not an evil bad person. I just think that women fought a long, hard time for these rights, just to you know turn around and give them to and I don't want to say mean things. I try to word my post, very carefully. You know what I'm saying? I do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all know what I mean. I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and thank you.